Welcome, boys and girls, to another day of learning. My name is Miss Sherry, and I'm your host. This is your teacher, Miss Shakita. Today, we will continue reading and learning about reptiles.
All right, well, thank you, Miss Sherry. You have already learned a little about today's group of animals, which are reptiles. You already know that reptiles are cold-blooded animals and vertebrates. But did you know that reptiles live both on land and in water like amphibians? Reptiles have lungs from the time they are born, not gills like amphibians. What else do you know about reptiles? We're going to take a look at our KWL chart, and we're going to discuss things you know, things you want to know about reptiles, and then at the end of our lesson, we're going to come back and we're going to discuss some things you have learned. Now, boys and girls, I want you all to think for a minute. What are some things you already know about reptiles? We're going to just stand and we're going to think about it. I heard someone. Reptiles lay eggs. Awesome. So you learned that from the previous lesson. We're going to place that under the K because that's something you already know. All right, who can tell me something else you know about reptiles? I'm listening. You got it. Some reptile eggs have soft shells and hard shells. That's very interesting. I know you all learned that from that reptiles lesson. All right, I want you to think, is there anything else you could tell me or anything else you already know about reptiles? All right, I heard someone say a few snakes hold the eggs inside their bodies until they hatch. That's interesting. Do anyone else have anything else that they know about reptiles? I'm going to give you all a minute to ponder and think about some of the other things you may have learned from the previous lesson. Let's think. What else do we know about reptiles? I heard you. Very few rare reptiles do give birth to live young, never making real eggs. That is really good. So you all remember a lot of information from the previous lesson on reptiles. Now, I want you all to think about this. What are some things you all are still wondering about reptiles, or just some things you just want to know more about reptiles? Let's think about that for a minute. I want you to really think, because once we finish this reader, I want you to see whether or not we have answered your question by the end of this lesson. So just think of maybe one or two questions you think you might want to know about reptiles. All right, Miss Sherry, what do you want to know about reptiles?
Well, I think I would like to know what type of animals are classified as reptiles.
Okay.
So,
that's a good question. So Miss Sherry wants to know what type of animals are classified as reptiles. So we're going to give Miss Sherry a moment to post that on the anchor chart under the W. All right, is there anything else you would like to know, Miss Sherry?
well, I really like snakes, but I would want to know what snake is known as the deadliest snake. And then finally, I've always heard that garden snakes are not poisonous. Therefore, I want to know what poisonous snakes can be found in the United States.
Okay.
So I'm going to post that on our chart.
All right, so Miss Sherry has two questions that she wants answered at the end of our story. And boys and girls, I hope you have your questions either in your mind or even written down on what you would like to know by the end of the story. So I'm sure we're going to be able to answer all of you all's great questions. But before we do that, before we get into our reader, we're going to take a look at our vocabulary, because we cannot go into a story without making sure we understand the vocabulary words. So we're going to look at our anchor chart, and we're going to review our words, and we're going to do our hand gestures, and then we're going to move into our stories to see if we can answer some of your questions. All right, are you ready? I think you are. Let's look at our first word. The first word is poison, poisonous. What's my word? Poisonous. Good. So now my definition is toxic substance that can cause injury or death. I want you to look at this picture. That's a scary picture, isn't it? But when you think about something that's poisonous, it can cause injury or death. So when I do my hand motion for poisonous, I'm going to do an X. That means keep it away from me. It is dangerous. So what's my hand motion, boys and girls? Good job. Miss Sherry, do you think you can give us a sentence using the word poisonous?
Sure. Here's one. There is a poisonous snake by the lake.
Awesome sentence. If you see a poisonous snake by the lake, I bet you better get away from it. All right. Our next word is venom. What's my word, boys and girls? Awesome. So venom is producing poisonous fluid. I want you to look at this picture. You see that snake and you see the venom. Oh my God. So when you hear the word venom in the story, our hand gesture is going to be, that's scary. It's like a snake about to bite you. So let me see that hand gesture again. Awesome job, boys and girls. Miss Sherry, can you give us a sentence using the word venom?
I think I've got one. A mamba injects venom when it bites something.
All right, it's a good sentence, Miss Sherry. All right, boys and girls, let's go to the next word. Our next word is water moccasin. What's my word? Awesome. This is a venomous snake that lives in the water. So this picture just shows you a picture of a water moccasin. And the name gives away itself, it lives in the water. So when we think about a water moccasin, we're going to do this, a snake that lives in the water. Kind of makes me think about some other things. Oh my God. All right, Miss Sherry, can you give us a sentence using the word water moccasin?
I think I've got one. I spotted a water moccasin in the water.
Oh, Lord. All right, let's look at our next word. The next word is startled. What's the word, boys and girls? Awesome. So when someone is startled, it means to move or jump suddenly. It's like you're surprised. So look at this little boy. He's startled. Yes. So my hand gesture would be, because I'm shocked, I'm surprised. So boys and girls, let me see you do that hand gesture. Awesome. All right, Miss Sherry, can you give us a sentence using the word startled?
I've got one right here. I was startled when I saw the anaconda.
Wow, that was a great sentence. I am sure we both would be startled if we saw an anaconda. All right, so now our final word is molten. What's my word, boys and girls? Awesome. So molten is shedding skin. So if you look at this picture of this snake, you can see that it is molten. It is shedding skin. So for my hand gesture, when I think about molten, I'm taking it off of me. So let's remove the skin or remove whatever. All right, boys and girls, let us see you do it. Awesome job. Now, Miss Sherry, do you have a sentence using molten?
I sure do. Reptiles are known for molting.
All right, so boys and girls, you now have the definition to all the vocabulary words. Miss Sherry has given you all great sentences to go with the vocabulary word. So before we move into our story, we're going to do a quick little game. We're going to play a quick little game called I Spy. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to say the definition, and you're going to have to tell me the word that I'm talking about. So you're going to say, I'm going to say, I spy a word that means blah, blah. And you have to look at this anchor chart and tell me the word I am describing. And Miss Sherry, do you want to join us today?
I sure do.
All right, so Miss Sherry is going to join us for this fun activity. So boys and girls, I want you to sit up straight, put your listening ears on, and you're ready for the first word. All right, I spy a word that means to shed skin. What word am I referring to?
Well, that has to be molting. Like, remember how we remember molting? It's kind of gross, right?
Great. And then did you notice Miss Sherry did the hand motion as she told me the word? I love that, Miss Sherry. Now, the next word I spy, it is a word that means to cause injury or death. Let's think about that word. It's to cause injury or death. What word did I spy? What word?
Oh, this is a toxic substance. So the word you see is poisonous. And I think, what did we do for that one? Oh, that's right, just like this.
You all, Miss Sherry is so smart. I thought I was going to get her because I didn't put all those words in that definition. Awesome job, Miss Sherry. Now, it looks like Miss Sherry has been playing this game before. All right, so I spy a word that means surprise. You're shocked. I spy that word, boys and girls. What word am I referring to?
Oh, that's an easy one. The word is startled.
Oh, man. Miss Sherry got that word again. So startled. That is the word. Awesome. Boys and girls, show us what it looks like when you're startled. Great job. All right. Now, I spy a word that means producing poisonous fluids. What word do I spy? What do I spy, boys and girls?
You know, I think I've got that one. That would have to be venom.
You're right. It is venom. All right, what's my hand gesture for venom? Exactly, boys and girls. You all are so great. Now, the final word I spy. I spy a word that means it refers to a venomous snake who lives in water. What do I spy? Miss Sherry's thinking. I don't think she knows this one, boys and girls.
Well, that has to be a water moccasin.
Oh man, Miss Sherry got that word. Water moccasin. So we know that it is a venomous snake that lives in water. And boys and girls, what's that hand gesture again? Yes. All right. Awesome job, boys and girls. So now we're going to go ahead and move into our slides. So now that you all have learned your vocabulary words, you know your hand gestures to go along with each word, I want you all to make sure every single time you hear that word that you actually do your hand gesture. So what we're going to do, I'm going to dive into our reader. The title of today's reader is called Reptiles. At the beginning of this lesson, we created the KWL chart. So I want you all to listen carefully to see if we can help Miss Sherry answer her questions that she displayed on the chart. Also, we want to be able to answer any questions you all have thought of at the beginning of the lesson that you may have written down, or you may just have it in your head because it's something you want to know. I want you to remember, while I read this story, when you hear that vocabulary word, definitely do that hand motion. All right, are you all ready? Let's begin. Some people may think reptiles, mainly snakes, are scary. Most reptiles will not harm people, but there are some reptiles that you should try to avoid. The black mamba is the best example. This is the longest and most poisonous snake in Africa. It is also the deadliest snake in the world. A mamba injects venom whenever it bites something. A mamba bite can kill any animal, even a human, in less than 20 minutes. Boys and girls, why is the mamba known as the deadliest snake in the world? I want you to think about that. Why is it known as the deadliest snake? Remember, look back into that paragraph of that text and help search for your answer. You're right. Because it can bite and kill any animal or human in less than 20 minutes. Whew. Oh my God, that is interesting. Let's keep reading. Rattlesnakes, copperheads, and water moccasins are types of poisonous snakes found in the United States. Rattlesnakes or rattlers are easy to spot because they have rattles that shake on their tails. You know when there is one nearby because you can hear the rattles shaking. Copperheads have a triangle-shaped head and dark stripes. They are normally less than 3 feet long. They prefer to live in rocky, wooded areas. They only bite humans if they are startled or attacked. I love how you all are still using your hand gestures for your vocabulary work. Now, why is a rattlesnake easy to identify? I hear you all thinking about that. And I know some of you are looking back into the text. You got that right. You can hear the rattles shaking on its tail. So you all be careful. If you hear something sound like it's rattling, you may want to watch out. Now, what is a characteristic of a copperhead snake? Yeah, that was in there as well. Yes, it has a triangle-shaped head and dark spots. And you can see that in our picture, the different types of snakes. All right, let's keep reading. Water moccasins live in the water, so they are hard to spot. They have a dangerous bite, but rarely attack humans. If you live in a southern state like Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, or Louisiana, you are more likely to see one. They live in swamps or shallow lakes. You might want to avoid swimming in shallow waters if you live in those states. Okay, boys and girls. What states can water moccasins be found? I heard someone say, oh, that's right there in that sentence. You are right. Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, or Louisiana. Good job, boys and girls. And I heard someone say, well, we're right here in Mississippi. You're right, so you better be careful. All right, some people think snakes are slimy because their skin looks shiny, but most reptiles have thick, dry, scaly skin. Reptiles are known for molting or shedding their skin. Reptiles shed their skin several times during their lives. Snakes, for example, shed their skin in one big piece. They do this when they grow too big for their current skin. I saw someone doing that hand gesture for molting. Awesome. The biggest reptile is the saltwater crocodile, which lives mainly in Australia and a few parts of India and Asia. Male saltwater crocodiles can grow to be 20 feet long or more. Attacks on humans are rare. If they do attack a human, it's usually not a happy ending. Crocodiles have the most powerful bite in the animal kingdom. Their bites are 10 times stronger than that of a great white shark. Despite their power when they bite and snap their jaws shut, it is fairly easy to hold a crocodile's mouth closed. They open their mouths using a weak set of muscles. In fact, a third grader may be able to hold a crocodile's jaw shut. Would you like to try? I don't think I would want to try that one. What do you find surprising about a crocodile's mouth? That's right. Despite their power when they bite and snap their jaws shut, it is fairly easy to hold a crocodile's mouth shut. Let's look at this crocodile. I don't think I want to be the one holding his jaw shut. I heard someone say, me either. All right. Good job, boys and girls. So now I have some questions for you. We're going to do a think, pair, share activity. So what I want you to do, I'm going to pose a question. I want you to think about the question, and then I want you to share it with someone who's in the house with you. It's okay. If no one is in the house with you, feel free to just shout it out to the television. We can hear you, okay? So our first question, which reptile has the most powerful bites in the animal kingdom? I want you to think about it. All right, share it with someone. Now check your answer. Did you say saltwater crocodile? I bet you did. Awesome. All right, the next one. Which type of snake only bite humans if they are attacked or startled? Think. Share. Well, you pair and then you share. All right, now share with someone. Is that what you all said? I think so. We have one more question. What happens to the skin of reptiles? I know you all are saying, oh my God, we have learned a lot about reptiles. And you can't wait to finish this KWL chart at the end. You all have thought about it? You're paired with someone? If not, it's okay. Now share. They molt. Good job. So they molt or shed their skin several times during their lives when they grow too big for their current skin. Awesome job. Good job, boys and girls. I want you to give yourselves a pat on the back. Awesome. Now, we're going to go back to our KWL chart to see what you all have learned from today's lesson. Now, Miss Sherry is going to actually tell us what she's learned from the lesson. And then, boys and girls, we're going to let you tell us what you've learned. Take it away, Miss Sherry.
Okay, well, we heard a lot of great information, but one of the things that I remember reading was that crocodiles, alligators, and turtles and snakes are classified as reptiles. That answered this question up here. What type of animals are classified as, thank you, Miss Shakita, as reptiles? So I'm going to put that on under our L for something that we learned. Those animals are all reptiles. All right, so another thing that I learned, or that we didn't ask this one, but it's something that I remember reading, and that's that the saltwater crocodile is the biggest reptile. So we don't want to meet that guy all around the corner, do we? No. So I'm going to add him right there, that the saltwater crocodile is the biggest reptile. So let's think about the other question. What poisonous snakes can be found in the United States? Well, we heard a lot about these different types of venomous snakes. So one thing that I remember reading was that the rattlesnakes, copperheads, and water moccasins are types of poisonous snakes that we can find here in the United States. So I'm going to add that to our L section of our KWL chart too. Very interesting information that we heard today.
Oh, shoot. All right, thank you, Miss Sherry. Now, I see that we have our KWL chart here. You all have learned so much from that. Now, what I want you all to do is think about something you've learned from today's lesson. Miss Sherry has posted what she's learned, so I want you to think about what you've learned from the lesson. You all learned some great things. So, the things you all have learned, please feel free to share those things with someone at home. We want you to just give them 1 or 2 things that you've learned about reptiles today.
All right. That wraps up our lesson. Thank you so much, Miss Shakita. That was some great, interesting information we heard about reptiles today. So, thanks for joining us today. All rights and the credits for today's lesson belong to Core Knowledge Language Arts. We would like to thank them for publicly sharing these valuable resources. The views and opinions expressed in the lesson are those of the Core Knowledge authors and do not necessarily reflect the opinion or position or policy of the Mississippi Department of Education. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.